Hello, my name is Alex Bailey. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how I composed my song Just Life Passing Through, which is coming out on Mahogany Songs distribution in September. I'll put the links to either the pre-save or to stream it in the description if you want to have a listen to it all the way through. For now, I'm going to play the first verse and chorus. Here it is. Here's the Logic project, and it goes a little bit like this.
It's a victory march, 'cause I'm far from the model man. Forever we'll just have to wait, but now I got too much on my plate, and I'll write to you in time. New, everything's new, but I still come back to you. Suns turned into moons, it's just like passing through. I've got some perspective now, you've got it all figured out.
Okay, so there is the first verse and chorus. So I think I originally wrote the guitar part when I was at work. I'm a guitar teacher. That's my day job. The chords are pretty simple. I was kind of thinking of like a Kurt Weill, Leonard Skinner type of riff. There's lots of hammer-ons just going between. And this is actually in a different key. I tuned the guitar down to D, open D, I think. No, D standard. But that's what it would be D standard. So it's just D, C. Coming out of the wilderness. It's that kind of vibe. Lots of hammer-ons. That sort of nice mid-tempo, sort of grooving tempo. Oh, I've got 156, but sorry, that's probably double time. So it'll be around 88. When I think of these ideas, I try and record them as quickly as possible, which is, I imagine, what most people try and do. So voice notes works for me fine. I just want to get the sketches down. I'll do everything else in Logic afterwards. So here is the original voice note.
Coming out of the wilderness, can you hear this a victory now? 'Cause I'm just a mortal man. Forever we'll just have to wait. Right now I got too much on my plate, but I'll write to you in time. New, everything's new, but I'll still come back to you.
So yeah, all the melodic ideas for the verse and chorus were definitely there from quite early on. You'll notice some of the lyrics are different. So when I'm originally writing stuff to get the ideas down, I tend to sing gobbledygook and then work out the lyrics after. I'm definitely more of a music first person, lyrics afterwards. So that just works for me. I would then sort of start recording it down into Logic. Obviously the actual voice note is a bit quicker, and I'm just listening back to it thinking maybe it's a little bit slow, but that's kind of what the vibe I wanted to go with. And it's too late now. So the next thing would have been to record it down, the guitars, and use Logic's drummer just to sketch out the idea and the arrangement. And then I would get my drummer friend over, Josh, came and recorded the drums probably last summer. That's how long it takes for stuff to come out or get finished with me. And yeah, this is the drums. So maybe if we have a look at the mix on the drums, I'll try and turn all the plugins off, and I'll show you what I did here. Right, let's have a listen to the raw drums. So put an SSL on the drum bus, give it a bit more beef, and then these, here's my kick. That kick's a bit notey for me. But yeah, nice thud to it. I suppose the interesting things that I did, well, SSL compressor on the, heavily gating the kick, EQing it, I've got a massive boost on the high end, and out some of the dirt. Actually, CLA is not really doing much. Can't really hear it. And snare drum. Bit of compression. Slow attack. And this I really like doing. So I suppose there's two schools of thought with overheads, is whether you leave them in on the whole mix and don't do a filter, but I've just started filtering out the overheads and I find that tidies up live drums so much. So yeah, I've got a really massive filter on the overheads. Let's just listen to the overheads in isolation, see what that's doing. So this is the overheads without the low cut. It's really quite aggressive. That's just a low cut. And then CLA compressor, compressing the hell out of them so you get loads of sustain. And that mixed in with the rest of the kit. So that's the kit sound. I'm pretty happy with that. It's probably one of the better drum mixes I've done recently, and we'll use that as a template going forward as well. There's a bit of channel 16 is the drum parallel, and all the room sounds are just coming from CLA, I think. Oh, actually I've got 16. I just went with a really dry sound. Yeah. Yeah, there's no reverb on these drums whatsoever. On the toms there is. So they're going to like a nice room, just a Logic one. It's fine. Bass. Now the bass, I played it muted with my back of my palm on the back of the strings. So, and with a pick by the sounds of it, or my nail. I sort of switch between the two now. I've got a gate. Don't normally gate the bass, but I suppose that's tidying up the sound quite a lot. Pro EQ, doing a bit of that. Boosting the lows, taking out a bit of mid that I didn't like. Boosting a bit of 2K to cut, I suppose. And then a bit of, CLA2. Just pressing lightly on every note, giving it a nice round tone. It's good. And I've got a bit of band compression on the very lows just to tame it a little bit. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with that. The bass and drums I was the most happy with on especially considering it's live drums. I was very happy with that. And then acoustics, which is the most important guitar of the track probably. Okay, so I stereo tracked the acoustics. Into those without any plugins on. This is my Gibson J29. I put a bit of gain on to boost the gain, and then a bit of low cut on the second one. I don't know why I did that. Maybe to make a bit of room for other instrument, and then a really quite aggressive EQ, getting rid of the lows on the first thing. CLA3, do a bit of compression. Massive high boost on the API. So lost that a bit. Can you still hear me? And then channel EQ, doing just getting rid of some more of the mids because they're getting a bit boomy. But I really like a lot of mids. I like a lot of mids in my acoustic guitar. I just find it sounds nice and warm. I kind of like that more mid-heavy vintage sound. And yeah, so that's what I decided to go for in the end. So drums, bass, and acoustic. And then other things in the arrangement that we've got. Got some nice piano at the end, so have a quick look at that. Literally no plugins on it. That's just my Nord on the upright setting. I really like that. It's the Nord upright setting sounds a bit naff, but I think it just makes it sound really real. Because I'm never going to record on a grand piano at my house. It's got a bit of a, it's like the E, I don't know what it is, the mid-range is all a bit like phasey or something like that. With the EQ, just sounds like a real sort of naff upright piano. And I've got to put Farfezier on the chorus, which is from my Nord again, which is like an organ. Great sound. Absolutely love this sound. Oh, nice inversions as well, if I do say myself. Can't really hear that very well in the mix, but yeah, adding a bit of extension on your chords I think really helps when you're just doing pad sounds, just to give it a bit more flavour in those chorus sections. And then the banjo, which my friend gave to me out of a skip, has a couple little licks here. So there's one in the intro. You can actually hear it's a little bit out of tune as well, but it made the record. I like that line. It's sort of very pentatonic. It sounds a little bit Eastern as well, and I mimic that in the guitars, the electric guitars. And then those guitars have got that nice warble effect on them. What is that? That is, ooh, is it just an echo? Oh, tremolator. I've sent it to, they're all going through the guitar bus, which has got, oh, hang on a second. Going to bus 21, which is my spacey guitar effect. So without those the guitar's quite interesting. So let's have a listen to that. So I've got this, you can see it. So here, this like spacey guitar effect. Echo Boy's doing a lot of heavy lifting there, loads of delay, ping pong delay, tremolator. Oh, sounds close. Sounds great. And I think that sort of brings a lot of space to the chorus. So that the whole instrumentation of the chorus. Let's have a quick listen to that section.
Ooh, everything's new, but
guitar's muted. Straight.
ooh, everything's new, but I still come back to you. So
now my voice, I just kind of keep changing what I do with my voice, plugins wise, but you can see on a lot of tracks I've got radiator. So radiator just adds a lot of warmth to noises and gives it a bit of an analog tone. I've dipped a little bit of the treble off, not a huge amount. Let's just have a listen to the vocals without the plugins on. I'll add them one by one. So I'll just loop that first line here. maybe keep the acoustics in, just give it a bit of context.
Coming out of the wilderness, can we call this a victory march? 'Cause I'm far from the mountain man. Coming out of the wilderness, can we call this a victory march? 'Cause I'm far from the mountain man. Coming out of the...
Listen back, and probably went a bit over the top with the plugins on this one, but let's just put them on one by one. So radiators, adding a little...
Coming out of the wilderness, can we call this a victory march? 'Cause I'm far from the mountain man.
EQ, lots of
coming out of the wilderness, can we call this a victory march? 'Cause I'm far from the mountain man. Coming out of the wilderness, can we call this a victory march?
Let the syllables come through, and then the EQ. Oh my god, this is mental.
Coming out of the wilderness, can we call this a victory march? 'Cause I'm far from the mountain man.
Yeah, that's just quite extreme. That's what I did. And then Saturn.
Coming out of the wilderness, can we call this a victory march? 'Cause I'm far from the mountain.
And then Soothe, new plugin that I've got, doing the vocal deharsh.
Coming out of the wilderness, can we call this a victory march? 'Cause I'm far from the mountain man. Coming out.
I've got those little delay tails on.
Far from the mountain man. Far from.
So Vox delay. And that is going channel 19. So yeah, it just turns up. Oh, actually, it's just the delay that I turn up on the channel. That's quite interesting. I've automated the delay on the channel rather than the send. Yeah, so when I was writing this song, I'm quite messy generally when I use Logic, but this one was one of the first songs recently where I really tried to tidy things up. Like I spent ages getting that drum mix where I wanted it. I find drum mixing quite tricky, or I did, but it's starting to get a lot better at it. And everything's color coded, which I think is really important. And then I added some percussion as well to sort of lift that chorus, which when I put it, the vibra slap and the shaker, which actually I don't have the sample anymore, but that was added in. So yeah, keeping everything nice and tidy, I think that's really important. Color coding, so drums are all red, these are green, but that doesn't really matter. Bass orange, guitars blue, pianos and keyboards green, banjo was pink, guitars lighter green, like electric guitars lighter green. This is an old vocal take, so I just have that on the channel just in case I need to go back to it. And then my vocals are all in blue, the sort of stock Logic color. I think keeping stuff tidy is really, really important. Also, having a bit of colors to look at is much more stimulating for your brain rather than looking at blue the whole time. And then, so once I had this as it is, I actually sent it to someone else to mix, a guy called Nick. And he did a pretty good mix. There was just some elements that I didn't really like, and I was sort of transitioning into doing stuff myself at that point, and I basically got my mix to where I thought it was good and sent both to the mastering engineer and let him decide, and he chose my one, although I was probably leaning towards my one anyway. But I did learn a lot off Nick, so shout out Nick if you do end up watching this video. He mixed the Weary and did an amazing job. I just kind of wanted to go for a bit more of a raw sound on this one, and we'll see if that works. And then on my master channel, which you can see here, I didn't send it with Pro L. I've got a bit of EQ, which is just kind of at the low mids, really low lows, below 40. It's quite aggressive. I probably wouldn't do that now. And then kind of a bit of the highs up to 15.4, but that's sort of curving off quite slowly. And then I've got a bit of SSL compression on it. Let's have a quick look to see how much it's doing.
Everything's new, but I still come back to.
And and obviously I've got a limiter on it so you guys can hear it. And that's the song. So yeah, my first production that I've done all the way through from start to finish, and it's coming out soon on Mahogany. I hope you enjoyed that breakdown. If there's any bits in it you liked, and if you would like me to see me talk about anything else, let me know. I've been Alex Bailey, and that was just Live Passing Through.